Hello dear doctors, today I am going to show you how you can study one MCQ and recall in 1 minute. Okay, here are 2000 MCQs initially. These MCQs are equally important for all candidates, FMGE, INICET or NEET PG candidates, because these MCQs contain the core knowledge of the MBBS course. Okay, so let's get started. In cardiology, today we are going to see, and in cardiology we are going to see the cardioanatomy question. There is our question from heart embryology. So let's see the question. A 2-year-old child was found to have an absence of coronary sinus associated with other cardiac defects. Failure in the development of which of the following structure will most likely lead to the given condition? Here are 4 options: right umbilical vein, right horn of sinus venosus, left horn of sinus venosus, and left vitelline vein. In order to know the answer of this question, you must know about the coronary sinus and about all these structures. So let's see the explanation. Here is the explanation. If you read it, you can understand easily, but here I am not going to read them because I am going to explain you in my own words. Okay, so let's see this figure. Here are the two figures. One is anterior view and another is posterior view of heart. Anterior view means we are watching the heart from the front. So what is the difference? The difference is that from anterior view we can see right ventricle, left ventricle and right atrium, but we can't see the left atrium because left atrium is located posteriorly. In the similar way, coronary sinus is also located posteriorly in between the atrium and ventricle. What is the function of coronary sinus? The function of coronary sinus is to collect the blood from different part of the heart into the right atrium. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Now, in order to understand these structures, we must know about the embryonic heart. So let's see the embryonic heart. Embryonic heart is present in the form of tube, so it is also called as heart tube. It has flowing part. My sequence to remember is: first one is primitive ventricle, second one is primitive atrium. Primitive ventricle is up above the primitive atrium. In well developed heart, normally atrium is up above, right? So remember in this way, because sometimes question may ask you arrange them in from top to bottom or from bottom to top. Okay, so primitive ventricles, primitive atrium. Above the primitive ventricle there is bulbus cordis, and below the primitive atrium there is sinus venosus, and at the top there is truncus arteriosus. Now we have to understand that this structure give rise to which structure in well developed heart. So let's see. It is very easy. Primitive ventricle. From ventricle we get ventricles, right and left ventricle. But which part of the right and left ventricle? Trabeculated part. Okay, trabeculated part. In ventricle there are two main parts, trabeculated and a smooth part. Okay, so what is the difference between trabeculated and a smooth part? Trabeculated part means ventricle having additional muscle. Okay, additional muscles. What is the name of that muscles? We will see in next question, because we have separate question on this topic. So we understood that from primitive ventricle it arises right and left ventricles. Must be the trabeculated part. Okay, then a smooth part of right and left ventricle arises from bulbus cordis. Okay, in the similar way, primitive atrium gives rise to the right and left atria. Which part? Trabeculated part. Then a smooth part arises from sinus venosus. A smooth part of which atrium? Right atrium. Here pay attention please. Okay, right atrium, not left atrium. Then left atrium, a smooth part of left atrium arises from primitive pulmonary vein. In this figure, primitive pulmonary vein is not shown. Okay, so can you see the difference? This is the part which is most confusing. Okay, here in sinus venosus, this is left horn of sinus venosus and this is right horn of sinus venosus. From right horn of sinus venosus it arises a smooth part of the right atrium. Then left horn of sinus venosus give rise to the coronary sinus. Okay, in our question it is asked that coronary sinus is absent. Then where the defect is? Then defect is in left horn of sinus venosus. Okay, so you can see the question. Question is saying absence of coronary sinus. So the answer will be left horn of sinus venosus. I hope you understood this. And one next moment which is very important is that this horn, left and right horn, each horn is made up of 3 veins. That is vitelline vein, umbilical vein and common cardinal vein. Vitelline vein collects blood from the yolk sac, okay, and umbilical vein collects the blood from placenta, and common cardinal vein collects the body from body wall. This is all about heart embryology. Okay, so if you understand this, then now see how you can revise in 1 minute. Okay, let me fix there the timer. Okay, let's get started. Heart embryology. Heart embryology means heart tube. It has primitive ventricles, primitive atrium, bulbus cordis, sinus venosus and truncus arteriosus. From primitive ventricle, right trabeculated part of the right and left ventricle arises. A smooth part of the left and right ventricle arises from the bulbus cordis. In the similar way, primitive atrium gives rise to the right and left atrium, which part? Trabeculated part. A smooth part of the right atrium arises from the right horn of sinus venosus. And a smooth part of the left atrium arises from the primitive pulmonary vein. Left horn of sinus venosus gives rise to the coronary sinus. Each horn of sinus venosus is made up of vitelline vein, umbilical vein and common cardinal vein. Vitelline vein collects blood from the yolk sac, umbilical vein collects the blood from placenta and common cardinal vein collects the blood from body wall. Okay, this is all you have to recall. Okay, if you study MCQ in this way for all 2000 and 3000 MCQ, then believe me, definitely you are going to get the good rank in the exam. Okay, so this is all what I have to say for this MCQ. See you in the next video. Till then, take care.